connection. I guess we're on her. Hello, everyone. Do you wish to connect, please, or check it, please? I'll wait a bit, perhaps, to see. Okay, yeah. Okay, we got one person on here. Two. Great. Just wait a little bit for a few more to get in so that you don't need to rewind and look at perhaps some things I've said. Hello, everyone. Happy Easter, of course, to everyone. In these most auspicious, unprecedented time. So, in just a short conversation with my divine partner currently here, between the two of us, we kind of decided that perhaps, it's a time to put something out more for the masses that really don't have, you could say, any clue as to what is, presently occurring upon the planet, upon Earth, and upon Gaia. For us, for the ones that have been awakened and know what's going on, there are times that we have taken it for granted that we know what's going on and we learn more about it, and we have taken it for granted that we have separated ourselves from the masses because, it was not their time to understand what was going on. But there are many reasons for that during the course of this ascension and the journey. So for those of you that may be watching for the first time or introduced to perhaps the terms like the Ascension, the Cabal, let's see, a couple other terms, Merkaba, deep state, darkness. These are terms that you'll come to know here very quickly, and during the course of the coronavirus that has kept you home, it's also for very good divine reasons to begin to get you up to date on the real world, on the reality that has been created, that you will come into on the other side of this global shutdown by the coronavirus. So first off, before I go in too deep, for all of you that were not awakened and that are new to this, what I am to tell you is that we are a very, very large and growing group of light workers, those in the know, divine knowledge of what is presently occurring, why it's occurring, and we have been all prepared for this time for you and to ease humanity into a very new way of being, a new way of existing, so many new things, and it's happening very rapidly. And the coronavirus is a divine instrument to rapidly advance humanity. So having said this, all of us, the spiritual community, whatever label you wish to assign to us, we are actually the teachers, we are the purveyors of information and knowledge to you as you awaken, to assist with the transition out of the controls of the government and the ridiculous enslavement of the monetary systems, and forcing you to be robotic, let's say a 9-to-5 mundane job, a mundane existence. And so at this time it's all being rectified in the higher ways to free humanity on every level, and very abruptly it's been put upon all of you, what we call the masses, which is the majority of the population upon the planet, that were the slaves to the old system, the monetary systems, the societal structures, the religious beliefs. It kept you enslaved into an existence where, to get right to the point, what was the point of you being here? To be a robot for a society, to be enslaved, and to not experience and know more about yourself. And of course, the reason for you being here at this time upon the surface. Life does have a meaning. Your existence here does have a meaning, and in this glorious, auspicious time, this is what you're about to learn more about very rapidly. You can say that it's not by your own choice or your own free will that you've been rushed into something that may be very confusing for you. However, divinely, it was meant to be, it is meant to be, and many of us call it the Ascension. And essentially, what the Ascension is ascending you, the entire human experience, into a more advanced state in the universe. You are not alone. There are many galactics, many aliens, many UFOs, if you will. This is all very real, and you are entering the time to be connected and to have what you call the first contact with these other races. You are not alone in the entire universe and in all that is. There are many life forms, there are many dimensions, and there is so much more, and you're being introduced to this. There has been much work prepared for you through the scientific communities and also through the spiritual communities, the ancient teachings, which are coming back to life. So there is much material out there. So if you're watching this and for the first time, or if you've been introduced to, let's say, Ascension and the other reality of what's occurring, now's a great time to begin doing more of your research to find out exactly what's going on. It's not a pandemic that's killing everyone, and it's not a wipeout of the population. All of these things are not what they seem. It's another layer that's occurring, and it's a transitioning into a new world. On the other side of this corona, it changes everything that you knew. And one of the reasons that this corona virus as well, you can look at it, it's divinely orchestrated to assure this transition out of your mundane world and the control of money upon the people and the governments. One of the most ridiculous things with this is, for instance, there are people that were starving upon the planet, people living in misery, people having nothing, and it's totally unacceptable and absolutely nonsensical for this to be occurring. For this to occur on a planet, it shows that the planet was savage, and no longer is this going to occur. So for these simple reasons, it has to be worldwide sharing with everyone, and everyone joining together and break the control of the society that had you working every day like a robot, coming home, eating, going to sleep. That is no life. What are you existing for? So you are existing for nothing. So you are entering a very rapid transitioning into a new age where everything in your world is going to change very quickly. And having said this, take this time while you're home to begin to research to know what's going on. Now, for you, there are many of us that are out there. So we put out a lot of information Some answer individual questions. There's individual assistance by many of us to let you know what is exactly occurring. And again, your whole world was corrupt, as many of you knew that without even being awakened. But you thought you did not have a choice. I'm here to tell you now that you do have a great choice. And on the other side of this corona thing, in a few weeks, a few months, however long that it takes, that you have the choice to support the new world and live in the new reality or not. However, really the choice is a no-brainer. So at these times you may be in states of great fear and confusion, but the thing is, what I'm saying is that everything is perfect, everything is going to be okay. There are many lies that are put out there, by the different medias in your TV, your news. The thing is, do not trust these. They are exaggerating the deaths, and also that they have an intent to spread the fear, because one of the things with the fear is to suppress humanity from rising for this time. However, all the attempts are futile. And what it does also, if you go into a state of fear, you lower your consciousness and you begin to attract things that are fearful. You begin to attract no information to understand what's going on. So in this time, you need a fully open mind, have no fear, and put your trust into Creator, into God. Put your trust into yourself. If you reflect back, why were you even here? How were you even created? You know at least that there is a higher power, that none of this happened by chance. None of it happened by chance, that you are here, that you are having a life. Life does have a meaning, and this meaning is now being amplified and restored on the other side of this corona. So what is actually occurring is the most greatest beautiful thing currently upon the planet. By shutting down governments, countries, and all of this, it is also providing a very important cleanup strategy of global affairs, global governments, all of the corrupt ones with their greedy intents that controlled the money. And again, many had, let's say, less than 1% controlled the monetary supply upon the surface, living in great luxury, while many countries and many people lived in poverty and suppressed. And this no longer is the future. So what we are doing is that there is wealth equality coming temporarily as humanity begins to phase out of the non-requirement for money. And to keep this very simple, there is no debt or owing anyone else. This debt in owing others was forced upon you and created by an ill intent government and dark forces. And you are creators, and this is humanity. So where you were able to believe that things like debt was real, you're also able to believe that it isn't. And to allow humanity to move forward, humanity cannot be restrained by money. It's absolutely ridiculous when the choice is there to have abundance for everyone. And this is what's occurring on the other side of this corona. Now, there are many things monetary wise that facilitate this rapid freedom from the control of money, and these are presently occurring. They're being set up. The corruption, as we know, is it's being cleaned up in all of your cities around the world. The corrupt ones that were, let's say, money laundering and controlling the money, the ones that committed the biggest crimes against humanity, the greedy ones. These are all being taken care of. There's many arrests that are ongoing during this time, and one of the biggest reasons for the coronavirus scenario is to provide the safe space for you while this cleanup occurs with the many arrests. So it's not your government's, you know, let's say, implementing population control and all these fear tactics. It's actually the opposite, that we are cleaning everything up for the new human experience. Now, there will be one currency. That's not a new world order thing. There will be that one great belief with everyone, with knowing that you are a spark and a part of Creator, and you don't need all of these other religions or beliefs. And going forward, it will not be that way. And also going forward very quickly, all of your monies around the world will go to par. They are currently doing that, and there will be one monetary exchange. Your financial, all of your financial areas, the way they used to be with stock markets, what have you, this will not be in the future, and very quickly it'll be torn down as humanity is restructured. So there are many good things that are going on, and what is occurring with this corona is actually a divine mechanism to advance humanity where they should be in respect to all of the other universal beings and what have you, in the least. So again, we are here. It's many of us upon the surface. We've been informed and prepared for years for this very time. And we are, you could say, we are a layer that are in the know. Many of us are connected to the governments directly, the governments that are assisting with this overall planetary cleanup. In actuality, you can also say we are the layer that's the divine layer that's assuring everything that is occurring now with the worldwide cleanup and the equalization of money, healing the sick, all of these things inclusive. Anything that you can think of that caused misery or restriction or control to the human experience is being eliminated on the other side of this. And it is a transitional thing, and but it is occurring very rapidly. So on the other side again of this corona, your world, your existence here is going to be so much more beyond what you ever could think. So you do have a choice, and your choice is occurring now to choose the freedom as well. So many things with your bills, your houses, your electric bills in this time. Don't worry about any bills. Your main essential thing is just assure you have enough food and water, and do not worry about any monetary things in this time whatsoever. It is best that you begin to take your mind off of the old about the money, needing to pay a mortgage, needing to pay rent, needing to pay a credit card. These are all fictitious things that you were led to believe that are being eliminated in the new world. Do not support them. You do not need to take your last $10 that you may need for food now to put onto a bill. That's absolutely ludicrous. And any government or any company that expects you to pay for anything or tries to force you, no, don't comply with it. Just look after your basics in this time. Now there's many basic incomes. Some of them are guised as emergency funds, stimulus packages. This is actually the transitioning of the government to more facilitate the wealth equality, and as we transition through this. So these are all instruments to assure basic incomes until the full implementation of wealth equality is administered worldwide to the planet, and as everything is wiped out that is lesser than that. So in this meanwhile, have no worries about any bills. Everything is changing. To take your mind off of that and begin to focus on what is really happening, like from the spiritual community, the Ascension community. I am one that puts out a lot of information. I am one that deals with, there are many levels of us upon the planet that have many divine tasks to do. What I tend to do is work from a higher place overseeing everything that is occurring upon the planet. However, I do put out things that fit all audiences, and this is one that is directed for you that is just awakening, to let you know everything is perfectly okay, that everything is under great good change. This is actually what is occurring, and have no fear with it, and trust fully in the God you believe in, and trust in yourself as being connected to this. There are many things that are going to occur with each one of you individually on the other side of this. Not only is all of humanity evolving into, let's say, a more civilized state and state of being, but on an individual basis also you are evolving internally within your bodies as well. Many of you are beginning to actually feel the energies, and this is part of humanity evolving into a, let's say, a more superhuman being. And many of you will begin to feel things you never knew before, experience things that were never written about as well, because you are also in a very intense evolution that does need to occur. And it needs to occur because all realities and all dimensions are based on vibration and frequency. So to do this and to go into the new, what we are creating, it also involves a frequency, a vibration by you. And it also involves much deeper your organic vessel being changed to match the frequency or the vibration. And a biggest thing with this is letting go of all the fear and going into the trust and the love with this at this time. And what this does, it changes your vibration and your frequency, which affects reality, it affects you, it affects what you experience, but it is also your key that will attach you into the higher existences. So it is very important, again, to know that many great things are happening beyond your comprehension, beyond what was human logic, human rationale, because it truly is divine what's occurring here. And it's this era that humanity is entering is also beyond anything known before. So stick with it, have no fear. There are many of us here that can attest to this. We know what's going on, and it is very real. We can show you evidence, we can show you documentation, we can show you proof. There are many ships here. For instance, on my Facebook wall here, I share others that are photographing, important ships, especially the Merkavas. They deal, the Merkava ships, not all of you can see them, but once you, let's say where the airs are cleaner now, more of you will also begin to see them, and also understand that there is something else very magically, very divine occurring upon the planet. So take your focus away from the fears and the mundane and begin to focus them upon you and divinity, and look in the skies. That is one of the first places you will begin to see things that you have not seen before, and it will assist with changing your mentality, the way you thought before, because that does need to be transitioned. And part of that is by spreading this awareness, giving you a little bit of information, letting you know that everything is okay, so that you can focus on informing yourself better of what is actually occurring. And what is actually occurring, one of your best terms to begin to Google is the Ascension. And with that, many has, the hashtags and the connections in what they write that you can connect in and get all kinds of information. So over the last 10 years or so, mostly, much has been written as more of us had awakened and were divinely informed of what was occurring upon the planet and what would occur. And during that course, many of us put many writings, many new teachings out there, and they are accessible on the internet. So we have a very vast library of what you need to know for this now and what's occurring in the futures. So it's already been prepared for you online. You just need to be directed to begin to look, let's say, for the Ascension, awakening, well, we could say the cabal again in the deep state, but this doesn't really give you a full view of what's we're going towards. What that gives you is just what we're cleaning up with the cabal, the deep state, and the darkness. So the Ascension takes you forward, gives you more understanding. It gives you a focal point that is ahead to direct and guide you towards that. The darkness, these things you no longer need to see or control what they had, because you are being liberated from that, and very quickly this is occurring. So the divine ones are here upon the surface. There are many millions of us. We will be, let's say, leaders, and we'll be leaders and comrades, and also we will be administrators here in the near future, assuring as more of you rise up out of the depths that you have the information that's required and able to take your place beside us, and of course create the global unity of everyone, and working together to advance humanity into what we call the new world, the new age, into a higher way of being. Again, the old ways of society in the monetary control and the enslavement of humanity are worn out. They were worn out. It's no more do you need to incur that and have that sort of existence. So you need to know very quickly everything is transitioning, and everything is going to be just fine, and it's going to be beyond anything that you may have ever thought of. So your choice is here, and you're being transitioned into your higher choice, and perhaps a choice that you never knew you had. So it's great. So just letting you know that this huge community is here to support you as you awaken and get more informed on your new choice that you have, and so many of the good things. And very rapidly the new technology will be implemented. Things like free energy is coming. It actually is here. So everything that you knew of in the past will no longer be. Your skies now are very clear. The pollution level has been lowered as well, which is very great. And these sort of things will continue. Your planet will be cleaned up. Your cities will be cleaned up. Garbage will be cleaned up. as you transition into a higher technology, or things like plastics, fossil fuels, anything that is any petrocarbons, these will be limited. There's so many beautiful things occurring, and of course sickness, the eradication of cancer and inhibiting sicknesses, all of these are very rapidly will be transitioned out of your existence. They are no longer required, let's say, on the human existence level, but it's also, it does not serve the future, because all the remedies and cures for any bodily discomfort is here, and new healing modalities, techniques that actually work and do not keep you in a loop. Drugs, medicines, pharmaceuticals, they are rapidly being phased out as well. You do not require them. So there's many good things that are occurring. The energetic healing that has been taking a great foothold. You already know this. You saw these areas springing up with Reiki and other healing modalities. These are taking the place of the old drug areas. Your foods are being cleaned up. You're seeing globally GMOs being stamped out, and organic foods taking its place. So this transition has already been implemented, integrated here, and now it's rapidly fanning out, because it is part of the new as well. So many good things are occurring. So with that, I've been on here, I believe, long enough. And so again, the message is to those of you just awakening: get informed, have no fear. There's a very powerful layer of divine ones that are above any government, any queen, any king. We are above all of those lesser denominations. We are here fully to support this transition and to assist everyone. Our hands are outreach to you as you awaken out of the confines of the illusion. And we do assist you up and give you whatever you may need. But the most important thing is get informed. Take this time to go on the internet and get familiar with what's really occurring. Leave the old world behind and take this period to transition into the new reality and what is actually occurring. One thing I can say is that yes, the Satan, the devil, Lucifer, the dark angels were very real. However, a spiritual war was won in 2012, and since then you are being liberated. So no longer is there any control by those forces. So fully you're being liberated. Stand in your own power, each one of you. Know that you are a spark of Creator, you are connected to Creator, and that you're connected to all of us. And begin to change your reality, shake off the old and accept the new. And we are here to support you in that and keep you informed, and you will find all that you need with that. All you need to do, you're responsible to search for it and do some typing and get informed and open up to it. It is here, it is real, it is new to you, but it is the new thing. Your old no longer exists as it was. You're being transitioned. So the more informed you are, the easier your transition, and knowing what is really occurring, and join your other comrades that are already above the turmoil, if you will, and know what's going on. Your family members, within many of your families, there would be one that would be awakened. You might say they're nuts, they're crazy, but in actuality, no, they are the ones that know. And those are the ones to go to at this time when your world's not making sense anymore. It's because the new world is here and these other ones are already in it. So your family members you thought were crazy or nuts or disillusioned or insane, actually they are the sane ones. It's the other way around, and we have gone forward. We have created this great world space for you that you're now transitioning into. So cool. Namaste. I love you all, and peace and love, and a great welcome to you as you arise more into what's actually occurring and rise out of the states of fear. So I believe I've said everything. Oh, yeah, and say no to the vaccines and Bill Gates and all of this stuff as well. It's not what it seems. Take back your power, your individual power, and no one controls you. A king, a queen, upon the surface in a human form is no better than you. Connect right to Creator. Own your power in your divinity, and no, don't be controlled by a monetary world, by a government, what have you. You are just as good, or even better, exactly, than any of those corrupt government officials, the politicians, all of those that chose money and greed over the people. And with this, your Vatican has been, let's say, destroyed, as you can see, and for very good reasons. I can very quickly say, when you had the Vatican as the richest institution upon the planet, while so many others were in poverty and misery, and yeah, well, you can see that was not godlike. And let me say that God is here upon the surface, stronger than ever before. And what we call this ascension, this transition, is imminent. Nothing stops it at all. So, and so it is. So, love you, peace, and keep in that love. It's so important. Keep united with the love, and don't resort to fear in these times. And very quickly, you raise the veil of your memory, of your consciousness, and you're able to see more clearly what is going on. Your perspective widens, and then you say, oh, okay, I see why this is happening, that it's actually happening for good reasons, not bad. So change your way of thinking. Everything is positive. There is no bad. Sometimes things, when you look at one little dot, it may look bad, but when you look at the whole picture, you see why it had to happen to create a full positive picture. So just hang in there and research whatever you can. I love you. Namaste. And lots of winks, and have a great day. And thank you everyone for viewing, and share this if you have family members that are just awakening, that are open to it. Yeah, whatever you feel. So I love you, thank you, and have a most beautiful